Hi everyone, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me today. I want to give a shout out to all of those of you, you know who you are, who have sent in PayPal donations and bought me cups of coffee. God bless you, you're so generous. Thank you so much. We all know that if you control the food, you control the people, and they want us to eat bugs. They don't want us to have a victory garden. They don't want us to have any type of garden. They don't want us to collect rainwater. They don't want us to have backyard chickens. They don't want farmers to grow food. They say the carbon footprint is the cause. Well, their bug farms actually have a larger carbon footprint than any rancher or farmer, anything like that. Myself, I think this is all hype about the bird flu now being found in pasteurized milk. It's just fragments, evidently, of the DNA. A scare tactic where they can start limiting, maybe even buying beef. Evidently, the bird flu is not in the beef cattle, only in lactating dairy cows. So yesterday, the USDA issued a federal order that says prior to interstate movement, dairy cattle are required to receive a negative test for influenza A virus, the bird virus. They're saying a strain of the highly pathogenic avian influenza A, H5N1, has been spreading across the country since first being detected in cows in March. It is now in 8 states. Those 8 states is Idaho, South Dakota, Kansas, New Mexico, Texas, Michigan, Ohio, and North Carolina. 33 herds is the last that I heard. Prior to interstate movement, dairy cattle are required to receive a negative test for influenza A virus and an approved National Animal Health Laboratory Network laboratory. Here in my state, it is in Brookings, and I called them. The test has to be done 1 week before the cattle are transferred. It takes them about 3 days to do the testing. They're at the laboratory. Each cow that is being transferred has to be tested. You have to take it from the milk. It has to be in a vial of 50 millimeters and labeled, probably with your ID number for the farm that you're at, which they call a premise ID, and probably the cow's number. Currently, they are not doing bulk testing on the tankers that is transferring the milk. Currently, the testing is free. Did I mention that? It used to be it was a voluntary testing only when a cow showed signs that it wasn't eating. But now it's for all lactating dairy cows. The cows that are not lactating, calves, heifers that are not lactating, the bulls, they don't have to be tested. The cows that have caught the virus seem to recover. Haven't heard any reports of any of the cows dying. And there was only one human case of anybody catching the virus from the cows, and that was only pink eye. Pink eye can be very painful, but that was all that happened to the man that was working at the dairy farm. More than likely he had the virus on his hands, and he rubbed his eyes, and that's how he got pink eye. They only recently, in the last 2 days, are trying to cultivate these snippets of DNA that's coming from pasteurized. Yes, it's already pasteurized milk. So they're cultivating those DNA samples in eggs. And those samples, the testing is going to take weeks. Currently, they don't know how the cattle are catching it. They don't know if they're catching it from another cow or if they're catching it from the feed, or if they're catching it from chicken litter, which is ground up chickens that's reprocessed and fed to the cows. That would be my first thought. They don't know if it's being transferred from maybe a chicken poultry farm that might be close by. They have not investigated all of that to see if it's being tracked in on their boots or their clothing or vehicles or trucks that they may be transferred. Yeah, they're not testing any of that. I would think that they would be at least testing the bulk carriers that all the milk is going into, but they're not doing that, and it's not required right now. They're not requiring any other extra type of sanitation or clean out of the barns, stuff like that, or even the equipment for the milking. They're not requiring any extra cleaning other than what they normally do. My first thought about being in the pasteurized milk is that all the school children have milk given to them every day for their breakfast and lunch. And I have not heard of any illnesses of late, of any unknown type of viruses that are affecting children. I have not heard about that. I'm going to continue to buy milk. I'm going to continue to make my own butter and cheese, cook with eggs and milk. I think this is probably a fear tactic to drive up the cost of food. They do know that the virus has transferred to foxes and coyotes, and there was that one case in Minnesota of the pet goat that caught the virus. I don't know if it lived or died or survived, but currently the cows are not dying off from the virus. And this is a virus that originated and has mutated that came from China, just like, the C virus. So unless they're transferring the cows across state line, it's still a voluntary testing to see if your dairy cows have the virus. So they're still being milked. They're still going. All that milk is still going into the bulk containers. Those are not being tested to see if they got the virus in the containers where they transfer the milk to different locations to be pasteurized. So currently, when you send in your tests to the National Laboratory, they're only testing for bird flu. The woman that I talked to in Brookings, she said if they tested for all kinds of viruses, that probably would show up all kinds of viruses that these cows have. Currently, the local South Dakota testing site is only testing 3 days out of a week, and it takes about 3 days for you to get your results back if one of your cows might have the bird virus. The infected cattle seem to recover from the virus within 2 weeks, experts said. I did say that only one person has caught the virus, but actually it's 2. Back in 2022, a prison inmate who was on a work program killing infected birds at a Colorado poultry farm caught it, but he only had symptoms of fatigue and he recovered. If the lab does get a positive result from the 50 millimeters of milk, that's what they collect. You can collect the milk and send it in. If they get a positive result, the test results are then sent to the state and then to the USDA. Yep, so what's next? What are your thoughts? Put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you again. God bless you. Thank you so much for the donations. Please stay safe, and I will talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.